I was living in the projects. There were a lot of drugs around. There was a lot of violence.
This is the only family photo Jamie Robie has.
A really bad situation happened to me, and I had to get out of there.
No person should ever experience a childhood like hers.
To be, 12, 13 years old and to be looking at which was the lesser of the two evils, it was nothing to see a mirror with a line of cocaine. I had to weigh out whether I wanted to live in that situation with all of these people coming in and out of my home, or live with a woman that I knew was going to be physically abusive.
She moved away from her neglectful mother in Massachusetts, only to find new abuse in her father's home in Jackson, Maine. The people supposed to shield her from harm were inflicting it.
What could I live with and what could I not live with? And I looked at it really clearly, and I knew I could take a hit.
Robie and her siblings called their stepmother Red because of her hair and fiery temper, a temper expressed through her fists.
It was this anxiety piece where I was always nervous of what was going to set her off.
At 16, that abuse reached a peak.
She beat the living daylights out of me, really, and she put me in the hospital. I ended up in the hospital. My face was completely unrecognizable. Both eyes, one was completely shut, the other one was, I had like a little sliver I could see out of, just she pummeled my face. And
that's when a Waldo County Sheriff's deputy came to talk to her. What Robie now realizes was a defining moment for her.
He sat there and he's like, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with your future? And I said, I kind of want to be a police officer. In the projects and throughout my life, when the police came, they always made it better. Whenever they came, they took the bad guy away. I always felt safe. He didn't even flinch, and he said, okay, well, this is what you need to do. Are you ready? And I'm like, I'm ready.
She doesn't remember the deputy's name, but that conversation changed everything. She petitioned the courts for emancipation, for freedom from her stepmother and from the abuse. 24 years later, Robie now has 2 decades of law enforcement experience under her belt and is the school resource officer at York Middle School, teaching classes about citizenship while keeping an eye out for kids who may be suffering in silence at home.
With my job, I hear things and I see things and I know things. And sometimes I go home and it takes me a while to process it, because I can connect to that.
Bruises, scrapes, repeated absences, signs of abuse that she knows all too well.
I have cases now. Unfortunately, it's not something that's just going to go away.
So she replicates what that deputy did for her more than 20 years ago, building positive relationships with the kids she sees every day.
And then that's when, that's when they'll disclose. That's when they'll come to you and they'll say, I don't know what to do with this. This is how I'm feeling, or this happened to me. And you're just like, how did you, you've been holding on to that for this long? I don't know how you did that, and those are the tough times for me, because I find out the weight that these kids are carrying around, and I'm just like, you never would have known.
Robie's story is documented in the pages of her book, Black to Blue. The chronicles of her abuse shape her life, but do not determine her future.
Whoever you are, it doesn't matter what your last name is, doesn't matter what house you grew up in, you can make something of your life. Just do something that is important to you, that matters to you, and give it everything that you've got.